Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And here's how many times Elon posted about each subject today. I'll cover everything he said about each topic before moving on to the next one. And starting with this story where Based Bef Jesus says we should reach Kardashev 2 on the Kardashev scale or die trying. Kardashev 2 would be harnessing all of the energy that our sun gives us. And Elon says, yes, we should die trying to accomplish this. And so this is a good start. NVIDIA says space isn't just for stars anymore. StarCloud's H100 powered satellite brings sustainable, high-performance computing beyond Earth. And Semi-Analysis quotes this saying, although it is common knowledge that space is cold, anyone that has taken Physics 101 knows that the thermal conductivity of space is effectively zero since it is in a vacuum. The only way to cool GPUs in space is with extremely massive radiators, which is impractical. The International Space Station's radiators is able of cooling up to 70 kilowatts and extremely mass and is very heavy. To put into context, GB200 NVL72 requires over 130 kilowatts of cooling capacity. Has anyone at NVIDIA done the math from first principles on this? On Earth, the electricity and data center cost makes up less than 10 to 15% of the total cost of ownership of GPU clusters. So there isn't much cost savings either once you account for a high cost of shipping all of the radiator cooling panels. The massive majority of the total cost of ownership just goes towards NVIDIA margins. Another issue is that relative to CPU, GPUs have a way higher failure rate and require a lot more techs. Who will the direct current technician in space floating around in space swapping out transceivers and GPUs from the cold spare direct current space station module? So James Dauma replied asking Grok how much area does a black body radiator require to dissipate 130 kilowatts given a surface temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. Grok said approximately 186 meters squared. This assumes ideal blackbody emissivity of 1 and radiates from one side. Practical panels with coatings or fins might require 2 to 3 times more area. Deploying such vast surfaces for GB200 scale cooling remains a massive engineering hurdle in orbit. James says, so that's roughly 13 meters by 13 meters in size, which doesn't seem ridiculously large for a structure that is in orbit. How much area would I need if I used a heat pump to raise the temperature of the radiator to 120 degrees Celsius? Grok says approximately 96 meters squared, saying practical designs may need 2 to 3 times more. Note, the heat pump adds power draw, increasing total energy needs, but still a challenge for orbital deployment. And Elon replied saying, radiative cooling rising as temperature to the power of 4 really favors higher operating temperatures. Ultimately, solar-powered AI satellites are the only way to achieve a Kardashev 2 civilization. And Grok says that Elon's post emphasizes the exponential efficiency of radiative cooling in space, where heat dissipation increases as the fourth power of temperature, making higher operating temperatures far more effective for cooling AI data centers. And as supported by the Stefan Boltzmann law, which shows that radiative power scales dramatically with temperature increases, potentially reducing radiator size requirements significantly. And then I got Grok to explain that to us like we're 5 years old in only 5 sentences. Grok said, imagine a toy that gets hot when you play with it, like a bright flashlight. On Earth, you can cool it with air or water, but in space, there's nothing to help. The Stefan Boltzmann law says if we make the toy hotter, it can send heat away faster, like turning up a flashlight's brightness. Elon Musk thinks we can use the sun's endless light in space to power big computers and make them hotter so they cool themselves by radiating heat. This way we can have powerful computers in space without them overheating, using the sun's energy all the time. And for this to work, we obviously need a lot of rockets, and Elon Musk admits China is about to launch the Zhuchoya 3 rocket. Stainless steel, methane propulsion. It's already outperforming SpaceX's Falcon 9 on multiple key metrics. And this mission here marks humanity's first commercial mission using a stainless steel methane-fueled rocket. Elon replied to this saying, if they are lucky, it might outperform Falcon in 5 years, by which time SpaceX will be launching Starship. And Blobify says, here's Elon himself saying Zhuchoya 3 will be better than Falcon 9. Patreon corrected him saying would enable it to beat Falcon 9, eventually, not from day one. But once it is fully operationalized and operating at similar scale, then yes, it has the potential to do so. Because of inherent design advantages such as stainless steel and methane, but it is a number of years away from actually operating more cost efficiently than Falcon 9. A number of years during which Starship will take the throne from Falcon 9 in any case. Elon says it will take them over 5 years to reach Falcon 9 levels of reliability and production launch rate, by which time SpaceX will have transitioned to Starship and be doing over 100 times the annual payload to orbit of Falcon. And then he responds to himself again and he says, a reminder that rapid evolution of technology is the only way to win. Those who don't innovate rapidly are doomed to fail. The next Starship launches version 3, which is radically better than version 2. Then, in a few years, V4 will double the payload of V3. And as is pointed out below, the SpaceX Falcon rocket will do more launches and carry more payload to orbit this year than the Space Shuttle did in its entire history. And SpaceX said this launch marks the 22nd and final launch for the Falcon 9 first stage booster supporting today's mission, as additional performance is required to deliver the Spain-SPAT NG-2 satellite to geosynchronous orbit. And Elon reposted it. And how do you get rapid innovation? XAI says exceptional humans are the ultimate progress multiplier. If you're an exceptional builder with a passion for scaling winning teams, join our new talent engineering team. Elon quoted that saying hardcore mode. And an XAI employee quoted it saying, after finishing my computer science degree from Stanford, I became obsessed with excelling in recruiting because I believe humans are the atomic unit of value creation. And assembling the most exceptional people is the highest leverage way to compound value. Now I'm assembling a team of unconventional engineers at XAI to scale the world's highest talent density organization. If interested, DM me or apply here. And Elon reposted this. And speaking of talented engineers, Tesla's head of AI Ashok Ellaswamy has released a new 30-minute presentation. Correction, it seems he is now the VP of AI. Regardless, he talks about FSD, AI, and the team's latest progress. Some highlights from the presentation, thank you Sawyer. Tesla's vehicle fleet can provide 500 years of driving data every single day. That is 500 years. And 8 cameras at a high frame rate is billions of tokens per 30 seconds of driving context. Tesla must compress and extract the right correlations between sensory input and control actions. And the data advantage. Tesla has access to a Niagara Falls of data, hundreds of years worth of collective fleet driving. Use smart data triggers to capture rare corner cases, like complex intersections or unpredictable behavior. And for quality and efficiency, extract only the essential data needed to train models efficiently. And for debugging and interpretability, even though the system is end-to-end, Tesla can still prompt the model to output interpretable data. 3D occupancy, road boundaries, objects, signs, traffic lights, etc. Natural language querying. Ask the model why it made a certain decision. These auxiliary predictions don't drive the car but help engineers debug and ensure safety. And Tesla's advanced Gaussian splatting or 3D scene modeling. Tesla developed a custom ultra-fast Gaussian splatting system to reconstruct 3D scenes from limited camera views. Produces crisp, accurate 3D renderings even from a few camera angles, far better than standard splatting approaches. And enables rapid visual debugging of the driving environment in 3D. For evaluation and world models, evaluation is the hardest challenge. Models may perform well offline but fail in real-world conditions. Tesla builds balanced, diverse evaluation datasets focusing on edge cases and not just easy highway driving. And they introduced a learned world simulator, a neural network generated video engine. It can simulate 8 Tesla camera feeds simultaneously and it's fully synthetic. It's used for testing, training, and reinforcement learning. It allows adversarial event injection, like adding a pedestrian or a vehicle cutting in, and it enables replaying past failures to verify new model improvements. Wow, so if I'm driving my Tesla outside and I notice that routinely something is not working on the current version of the software, and I'm hitting that button when it goes wrong that sends that video to Tesla that they can analyze, and they get my voice recording explaining what's going wrong, once they train the new model, they can use their synthetic world generator to enable replaying past failures to verify if the new model improves in that situation. And it can run in near real time, letting testers drive inside a simulated world. So what's next? Scale robotaxi service globally. Unlock full autonomy across the entire Tesla fleet. Cybercab, next-gen 2-seat vehicle designed specifically for robotaxi use, targeting lowest transportation cost, cheaper than public transit. Same neural networks will power Optimus humanoid robot. The same video generation system is now being applied to Optimus. The system can simulate and plan movements for robots, adapting easily to new forms. And Elon replied to this saying, Optimus AI will be great. And Elon also reposted the article in its written form. But while all of that is going on, the ex-Stellantis CEO says Tesla could exit the car industry and may not exist in 10 years, saying Tesla's stock market value loss will be colossal. Sawyer says Stellantis stock returned minus 21% during this guy's tenure from 2021 to 2024. No wonder he's an ex-CEO now, and Elon says he has absolutely no clue. And Gally from Hyperchange says, thinking back on the fateful Tesla court case in Delaware, profound consequences, the boldness of the legal system to overturn 2 shareholder votes with billions of shares for 1 shareholder with 9 to profit a law firm who wanted to get paid in Tesla stock. Delaware is no longer the leader in corporate governance or the de facto place to incorporate. They won the battle against Tesla, but at what cost? They lost the war. The free market has spoken. If that doesn't prove how unfair the ruling does, what will? Either a petty judge or a much deeper, darker conspiracy overturned the will of American shareholders. Millions of them who voted on it twice. We sent a crystal clear signal of what we wanted. We made our voices heard with shareholder democracy, quietly overturned by the courts. The day that ruling was made, I learned we do not live in a truly capitalist or fair society. America is teetering on the brink of something else. Sad. And Elon reposted this. And the CEO of Robinhood says that we've built a really nice in-app experience for the upcoming Tesla shareholder vote. Check it out. And Elon said, cool. And a lot of people have been frustrated with the X algorithm lately. Elon says, my apologies for the frustrations. We are working hard to fix the problem. Katie Hopkins says, darling Elon, I will blow you harder than a band trumpet if you fix this algorithm. I don't want to talk to AI. Grok can f*** off. I want to talk to people. Thanks, love. Katie Hopkins. Elon says your ardor for fixing the algorithm is duly noted. We are working over the weekend to improve matters. Joey says, let's just be completely honest. X is broken and it's basically beyond repair at this rate. I hardly even log on here to post. In the meanwhile, I focus more on Instagram, where I've grown from 100,000 to 300,000 followers in 2 months. In that same time period on X, I've remained at 644k followers no matter how many I gain per day. I don't get any views on my posts compared to the golden days. I used to wake up in the morning and look forward to being here on X all day. Not anymore, they've killed this place. It's very sad. Bring back the June 2023 algorithm. And Elon said there should be significant improvement next week. And Nikita Beer said what life is like for the algorithm team. And for those listening, it's Peter Griffin just trying to open the blinds and you can't quite do it. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Deborah is saving time and money, so she deleted Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Netflix, ChatGPT. She says, I have everything I need on X and Grok. And Elon quotes that with a heart. And C3 says legacy media negative coverage on Zohran Mamdani is just 5%, but on Robert Kennedy it's 96%, on JD Vance it's 90%, on Elon it's 96%, Pete Hegseth is 100%, Tulsi Gabbard 100%, Trump 95%. It's very telling. Legacy media is the enemy of the people. Elon says 100. And X Safety says by November 10th, we're asking all accounts that use a security key as their 2-factor authentication method to re-enroll their key to continue accessing X. You can re-enroll your existing security key or enroll a new one. And Elon reposted this. And female spies are still waging sex warfare to steal Silicon Valley secrets. China and Russia are sending attractive women to seduce tech workers, even marrying and having children with their targets. It's the Wild West out there, says an insider. So Atlas says, geez, I sure would hate for a beautiful Chinese spy to wage sex warfare against me for my production secrets. My production secrets are super important. I would hate for this to happen. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Ada says that Elon donated $1 million to researchers, archaeologists, and students to continue studying ancient Rome. Today, he even took the time to do a video call during the presentation of the project. The audio is trash, but he basically said, we will extend consciousness to another planet. We are close. This is the first time that is possible to extend consciousness beyond Earth. God bless him, and Elon reposted this. And moving on to politics, Gavin Newsom said, I did universal health care when I was mayor, fully implemented regardless of your immigration status. And Define L said, but wait, I thought this wasn't happening. And Elon reposted that. Alice Smith says mass immigration minus consent and assimilation equals invasion. And Elon said 100. And did we forget how to solve crimes? This is America's declining homicide clearance rates. Been declining since 1965. Elon said this is concerning. Woody says, don't worry, bro, we are about to make a full comeback. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Elon quoted this clip from Fox News.
Why does Chicago have the highest murder rate of all the big cities?
Well, we are not in the top 30 in terms of our murder rate. Indeed,
well,
our murder rate it has been cut in half over the last 4 years, and every year it's gone down by double digits. And if you look at all of the violent crime over the last 4 years,
here's a map.
They've all gone down.
U.S. cities, 17.47 per 100,000 population. Chicago is number one over Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, and San Diego.
What I'm explaining to you is
when
you want to fight
crime.
Look, you can pull statistics up.
No,
I can
these are
too.
murders.
I'm explaining to you that our murder rate has been cut in half. And very importantly, Brett, and you got to hear this, very importantly, we've been doing the things that are necessary to bring crime down, right? We've invested in community violence interruption. We've invested in police.
Elon said J.B. Pritzker just flat out lied about an obvious fact. And over in Germany, 5 Syrian asylum seekers were arrested for gang raping a 17-year-old girl. And Elon replied with 2 exclamation marks. And a Swiss court has sent a man to prison for writing on Facebook for a Facebook post saying that biological sex can be determined by examining skeletal remains. And Elon facepalmed, saying that's just literally true. And he got a Grok analysis to show why that's true. And over in the UK, a 5th survivor has quit the Pakistani rape gang inquiry, calling for Jess Phillips to resign. At this point, if Jess Phillips is not immediately removed from the inquiry, it proves unequivocally that Labour don't care about the survivors at all. She has got to go, and Elon reposted this. And this article from The Guardian says 5 grooming gang survivors tell the Prime Minister they will stay on the panel only if Jess Phillips remains in post. So Marlon West said, let me be perfectly clear, this article is not about my daughter Scarlett. Scarlett has not endorsed Jess Phillips in The Guardian. Scarlett demands Jess Phillips' resignation and is furious that her name is being misused. And Elon reposted this. And you guys probably remember Axel. He was enrolled at school in the UK aged 13 after being expelled from mainstream education for taking a knife into classes. Tommy Robinson says a head teacher removed the word sinister from the Southport killer's education plan after mental health workers accused her of racially profiling a black boy with a knife. And that head teacher, Joanne Hodson, told the public inquiry investigating his crimes that from his first day she realized the teenager was very high risk. In an email to all her staff, she said Axel needed to be regularly searched for knives because he hadn't displayed any emotion or remorse and was very high risk. But they let him murder those 3 little girls out of fear of being called racist. Just like how they allowed up to 1 million British kids to be gang raped, pimped out, even killed at the hands of predominantly Pakistani men. All instead of appearing racist. All these people are complicit and should be arrested and tried as complicit. Elon said this is exactly what happened. Government officials need to be held accountable. And here's the only Grok Imagine post that Elon shared today. And ALX says, do you think Grok remembers Mr. Stansel? Grok says, I remember Mr. Stansel vividly. It do be like that sometimes. And Elon had a laugh saying, it do be like that. So that's everything that Elon said today. He doesn't sound too worried about those Chinese rockets because his teams innovate so fast. They're working hard on the X algorithm, and we'll see if we do eventually get AI satellites. And if you guys want early access to these daily videos, you can get access by joining the channel as a member, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.